Have you ever wondered how and when to use masking fluid in your watercolor painting? Well, this video is for you. This week in the studio, we are painting this section of the Great Wall of China that has this beautiful alpenglow lighting on it. And although I don't usually use masking fluid, this ended up being a perfect time to use it. I'll talk about why I chose to use masking fluid in this piece here in a second, but let me first just show you and tell you how you use it. So masking fluid is a medium where you apply it to the paper and it dries and totally protects the paper. You can paint over it and then you can pull it up. You can see here that it's this rubbery substance, and because it's a rubbery substance, it is going to destroy your brushes if you're not careful. So the way I use it is choose a brush that isn't your favorite brush, kind of a janky brush, maybe a little bit of a throwaway brush, and you're going to want to use that because you're not going to want to use your very, very nice brushes in case that gel stuff starts sticking to your brush. And the way you're going to prevent or reduce the masking fluid actually sticking up and gooing up your brush is by using soapy water. Now, when we paint with watercolor, we are usually using water anyway, but when you put soap in your water for masking fluid, it's actually going to act as a deterrent from it sticking to your brush. I have even seen some people use a soap bar just right next to their painting where they'll dip their brush into the water and then get it soapy on the bar and then dip it in the masking fluid and then apply the masking fluid. And this is a really great way, just similar to the soapy water, to prevent that masking fluid from gelling up and gooing up your brush. One thing that is really important is that oftentimes, especially in this painting, you are going to want to make sure that your brush has a good enough point. So when I say use a janky or not high quality brush, you're still going to want to make sure it has a decent point, because if you apply the masking fluid too thick in areas where it's supposed to be thin, it's just not going to look right. So you are going to apply it to all of the areas and you are going to make sure it dries. This is absolutely critical because if you apply paint to masking fluid that hasn't dried yet, it's actually going to absorb that color and disperse it everywhere that you're trying to prevent that paint from going. You can speed up that drying process with a hair dryer or a heat gun or something, but it is pretty obvious when it's dry. It gets all gummy and dry and you will just know when it's dry. So make sure it's dry before you paint over it. Then you're literally just going to paint over it as if it's not even there. And you can see on this painting that where I put the masking fluid, it's being preserved with the color underneath. I had already painted a little bit of yellow and orange underneath it on the wall. And you can see that when I paint over it, it's just glide right over it as if it's not even there, which is so cool. Okay, so let me quickly tell you why I chose to use masking fluid in this piece. When I started painting this piece, at first I was just trying to preserve the lightness of the walls and paint around it. But I found that because the wall was so entangled with the mountain, which is what makes the Great Wall of China so incredibly spectacular, I was having a really hard time painting around it and seeing the parts of the mountain I needed to paint. So I was having a hard time seeing the dark spots and the light spots and where the alpenglow was supposed to be. And instead of trying to paint around it, that's when I decided that this is a perfect time to apply masking fluid, because when I apply masking fluid, as you can see, I can literally just paint right over it and the Great Wall is being preserved and I can just focus on painting the mountain. So that is what I did and it ended up being a perfect application for it. Now, there are 4 different ways to preserve white or the light colors of your watercolor painting. I'm not going to cover them all right now, but the 2 ways I usually use in tandem with each other are just to be careful and preserve the white spots where I want it to stay white, and then bring some of that back to life with white gouache at the end. I'll tell you why I chose not to do that in this painting in a second, but first let's remove the masking fluid. So you can remove the masking fluid simply with your fingers, and when you do that, you need to make sure your fingers are super duper clean, because you'll see that when you lift it up, it is perfectly crystal clean under there, right? Like I'm not smearing the paint at all. I made sure everything was dry, all of the paint was dry, and I made sure I had really, really clean fingers. And then when I lift up the masking fluid, underneath where the masking fluid was is preserved. However, if you go in with dirty fingers, you are going to oil and grease up your painting and be sadly disappointed. And right here is also one of the reasons I don't use masking fluid that much. It's just another medium, another tool to carry around with you. It's super duper helpful, but it causes a lot of resistance for me personally with painting because it's another thing that I have to carry around with me if I'm taking my paintings on the go. And it's just another step in the process when just being careful and then using white gouache at the end is perfectly fine for me. That's the medium I enjoy the most. Now, I also could have done this in reverse. I could have painted completely the wall first and then put masking fluid over it and then painted the mountain. Masking fluid also works like that. So it doesn't just preserve the white underneath, you can also put a layer of color underneath it, let that dry completely, and then apply the masking fluid and it will preserve that. But in this case, I chose to just paint masking fluid over the wall before I had really painted it and completed all the details of the wall. But you could do it the other way if you wanted. Okay, so the reason that I chose masking fluid on this piece instead of just preserving the white and then using white gouache is that this wall is obviously not white and it requires a certain level of detail. So oftentimes when I'm preserving white, it's literally like a reflection in water or very, very light spots that don't require detail. But in this case, the Great Wall of China required a lot of detail that I wasn't going to achieve just with white gouache, right? There's lots of different colors in here. I wanted them to have the alpenglow, or I wanted the wall to have that alpenglow orange effect on it. There's a lot of bricks that are going in here and a lot of details. So I didn't want gouache on here. I actually needed to watercolor paint it, as you can see here. Okay, so that is pretty much the masking fluid section of this piece. I really hope that you learned something from that. If you have any questions about using masking fluid, I'm probably going to make another video about it sometime, but let me know what specific questions you have down below in the comments, and I would love to address that. So now I want to move on to these finishing touches and details of the Great Wall of China that I'm doing here. In the original photo of this, there is a ton of detail all along the wall, but I am choosing just this front section to really focus on the detail there and bring it to life because our eyes fill in the rest of the details. So if I were to paint really detailed all throughout the wall, it would just be unnecessary because right now what I'm painting, I am bringing your eye into the wall. And then as your eye moves through the painting, it actually just fills in the detail by itself. And this is a really great way to not feel overwhelmed with paintings and to actually make sure you finish your paintings by not even worrying about all of the detail in the whole thing and just picking some spots to really capture the essence of it, and the viewer's eye will fill in the rest. And in the end, I really loved this painting. I have to admit that before I applied the masking fluid, I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed with painting the mountain. But I love how it turned out. And if you are a studio member, who paints weekly with us, I'm excited to see yours as well. And if you are interested in painting with an international community, then we welcome you to do that with us. You can check the link below in the description. Thanks for watching.